Happy Halloween, everyone. It is Renata here, and you know, what an amazing day to talk about that wonderful time of year, Mercury retrograde. And in this video, I really want to help you or give you some nuggets of wisdom so that you can thrive and not just survive Mercury retrograde. Because let's face it, it's not a time, this is a time, number one, that's going to happen. It happens 3 to 4 times a year, and that's a lot of times to go through this for the rest of your lifetime. So in the video, I'm going to talk about what Mercury retrograde is, because some of you are like, I keep seeing it everywhere on Instagram. I have no idea what people are talking about and why everyone's losing their mind. Secondly, there's some do's and don'ts about what to consider during Mercury retrograde, and the gifts that Mercury retrograde brings and how to leverage them in your life. So first of all, what is Mercury retrograde? Well, first of all, Mercury rules the planet of communication. So it's our communication, it's our logical thinking process, and it affects travel, communication, and technology here on Earth. So when Mercury, the planet, goes retrograde, what that means is it slows down and it appears to be going backwards. It really isn't going backwards. It's just an optical illusion. However, when it goes in, when it starts to slow down and create that optical illusion, it kind of goes into what is called like a rest period, and the full potential of that planet isn't really active. And that causes some things to go a little haywire on Earth in the realms of travel, communication, and technology. Great. So, and it's a 3-week period. It lasts for 3 weeks, this Mercury retrograde, and currently it's in the sign Scorpio, which I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And it starts from October 31st, today, and it ends November 20th. And, you know, when Mercury is in retrograde, it's really important to be maybe proactive, because yes, certain things can go a little wonky. And when I'm going to break down the communication, travel, and technology. First of all, don't react or take things maybe super personally, because people's communication might not be the best, especially during this time. Sometimes their communication is not the best at all, but really during this time, you want to not take things as personally or be more mindful when you react. Secondly is when you're doing any work, don't be sloppy. Don't just hit send without double checking or reading things to make sure things are really clear. So you just want to double and triple check your verbal as well as your written communication, especially in forms of email or text. You know, this is a time too where when you're traveling, you want to give yourself extra time. I wouldn't really advise you to just like race against the clock and cross your fingers and hope you get there on time, that you get all the green lights, because chances are things might be more delayed when you're traveling, or you might have car issues, or your flight might get delayed. Literally, I was in Portugal almost 2 years ago, not this summer, the past summer. I don't know, let's say we had 10 flights, 9 of our flights were delayed. And I don't mean like 5 minutes delayed, I mean like an hour at least delayed. So yeah, maybe that was an opportunity for me to exercise patience. Did I really master that? Probably not. It was super annoying, but it is what it is, okay? And I just knew that going in there, and I still got to where I had to go, but you know, expect delays. When it comes to technology, you want to maybe back up your computer, you want to back up your phone. You might not want to purchase a new phone or a computer or any type of technology things, or even big purchases in general where you have to sign contracts again, because communication, a contract's a form of communication. However, I do want to say this. I had my phone break almost 2 years ago during a Mercury retrograde period. I wasn't going to be like, okay, let me just wait a week and a half, because I don't want to sign a big contract, even though like a phone isn't the biggest contract in the world, but it is still a pretty, you know, meaty contract, because you know the fine print we don't read and we always get screwed somehow. But I still purchased a phone, and I have it right now, and it works perfectly fine. And I just really took my time reading that fine print that I never considered reading ever in my life before I made the purchase. And things are fine. So it's a time to be a little extra cautious, I would say, as opposed to maybe hard do's and don'ts, just extra cautious when it comes to those travel, technology, and your communication. However, Mercury's a great time because things tend to slow down, and maybe things don't get things as quickly, and it's a realignment phase. Mercury retrograde is all about the reassess, reevaluate, redo, reconsider, reconnect, realign. So I actually look forward to Mercury retrograde because of that opportunity to reassess certain things in my life and to look at things like, are these still aligned with my values? Is this a goal that I really want to keep pursuing? Are these friendships I really, are they aligned with me? Like, do I feel connected? Or it's a great opportunity to reconnect with people that I haven't seen. I'm not kidding you. I've had people reach out to me during a Mercury retrograde, old friends that I haven't maybe spoke to in a while, and it's a great opportunity to connect with people. Just a little disclaimer. That also can mean that your exes may come into your life during a Mercury retrograde period. It's up to you what you do with that information. I would just say it's probably doesn't mean, they're the one who got away. But people tend to reminisce. Remember, it's a time of reflection. So they might be like, oh, how are you? I've been thinking about you. I don't think that's the universe being like, they're the one that got away. From my experience and from all the things that I've read and learned about Mercury retrogrades, it's maybe an opportunity to get your final closure if you haven't. So again, it's also good for reconnecting, and again, maybe getting clear on communication, because it's so big on communication. And the fact that it's in Scorpio, this Mercury retrograde is in Scorpio. Scorpio is all about depth. It's like it wants to get to the depths of things. It feels intensely. So there might be things that have been unsettled or unfinished in your life, and the Mercury retrograde period is a great time for you to take some time to look at some work that maybe you've been putting on the back burner, or some communication that you need closure on. And what a great sign Scorpio is to help you get closure on some of those things on such a deep emotional level. So don't fear that intensity, because you might have some really deep, heartfelt conversations that might feel a little uncomfortable, but they're so important for our own emotional wellness and our own closure. And Scorpio is not afraid to have those deep conversations. And I think this Mercury retrograde period is going to be really good, and it's going to be healing, and we're going to actually be able to connect on a way deeper level if we choose to. So don't fear the depth and the vulnerability. It's a very good thing for real connection. Because I don't who wants to talk about the weather? Yeah, the weather's gross outside. Anyways, I'm not even, that's a whole other video. Mercury retrograde is also very good for your creativity right now. Oh my God, my communication is already acting up. Your creativity and inspiration, because it's also in Scorpio. Again, Scorpio is being a water sign, is very intuitive. So if you're feeling a little stuck right now or unclear, this retrograde period is going to really help you access your intuition on steroids. And it's a great time to really pay attention to some creative insights or inspiration, or like nudges or curiosities that you have, and to explore them. So when people say, well, how do I follow my intuition? Sometimes your intuition is a curiosity. That's how it manifests. It's like, I'm really curious about that. I would invite you to explore that. Is it a course? Is it a book? Like, what do you got to lose? Like, you got nothing to lose. Explore that. So that's a way that I find intuition comes, is just through sheer curiosity and repetitiveness that might be exposed to you. Don't ignore that, especially during this time. Leverage your creativity. I always do for my business. I will be doing that right now for my business, for things that I want to launch in 2020. I'm using this retrograde period to really gain that clarity through my creativity, through that inspiration, and through my intuition. So this is not a time to fear at all. It's a really good time to get back in alignment and to make sure you are doing things, you are in relationships with people that help lift you up and move you forward, and that aren't weighing you down and keeping you stuck in your life. Because let's face it, again, I said in the new moon video, there's a lot of things that we know we need to look at or consider, but we don't make time for because it's uncomfortable. And Mercury is just here to say, look, I'm going to force you to reassess certain things in your life. And I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's nothing to fear. Just certain things to be more proactive with, again, is your travel, is your communication, and your technology. And you're probably going to hit delays, or things might go wonky. But at the end of the day, you're going to survive. Okay? So that's the end of that video. Please comment, share with a friend who would appreciate hearing this, so they can finally breathe again. And because it's Halloween, I got a spook-tacular sale. I just really want to say that word. I have 31% off. So 31% off my 60-minute tarot and intuitive coaching sessions, or you can use the 31% off with my birth chart reading, which also includes a 10-page written soul report on your birth chart. And that's with promo code TREAT, all in capitals, 31. The details are in the post below, and then you can just click in the bio for more details and to book your session with me. Okay, so have a wonderful day and embrace the first day of Mercury retrograde. Take care, everyone.